Hey guys, so it's like really late and I'm basically in pajamas and like ready for bed, but I just realized like an hour ago that I forgot to put up my Voice recap, and I haven't even watched The Voice yet. So I just watched the first episode from Monday night, and I'm going to go ahead and recap on that one. I made some notes here. It was a short episode. It was only 45 minutes, or an hour for you guys who watched it with the commercials. But yeah, it was only 45 minutes, again, because of the presidential debate. But I figured I'd comment on this episode and then film and watch Tuesday night's episode and then film my recap to that tomorrow or even tonight maybe. But I figured I'd just recap on this right after I watch it so I don't forget these artists. We're just going to jump through. There was only a couple artists on this episode, so we'll just go over the notes that I wrote down. 6 artists performed and 5 made it on the show, so I'm going to comment on those. Bindi, her mom had cancer. She sang Bust Your Window Out. I really liked her, actually. She was good. She has a little bit of improving to do, but I think all the artists do at this point too, so really liked her. I really liked the Elia, who was the Mexican woman who sang in Spanish, and I thought it was really cool that she sang in Spanish. She also made it on Team Adam, which I thought was pretty cool, and she was very pretty, had a very cool voice, although I couldn't understand her because she was in Spanish, obviously, but I thought she had a really cool toned voice. Then Lane, he was probably one of my favorites on the show. Lane, the guy from Louisiana who sang the Cajun music, and the guy who sang last were my 2 standouts for this episode of The Voice. And Lane sang I Have the Blues, and he made it on Team Miley, which I thought was kind of crazy, but it's also a very cool pairing, I think. So we'll see how that goes. I thought his style of music, first of all, was very cool, and secondly, I just really like that style of music, so maybe that's why I liked him, but I also really thought his voice was really cool, and I just really like him. He was one of the standouts for me. And then Carly was the 22-year-old who did YouTube, and I think I might have actually seen a couple of her videos on YouTube. I'm not sure. I don't follow her closely on YouTube, but I think I have ran across a couple of her videos. And she also was on Team Miley. She did really good too. I liked how she kind of started off softer and then built it up and then went back to being soft and then built it up. So that was really cool for me. I really liked that. And then the last dude who was talked about his mom being a Sioux Indian, and I thought, first of all, Indian culture is really cool to me. I am part Cherokee Indian, and so I think it's pretty cool. I'm not very, I don't have a lot of Indian in me, but I do have a good bit of Indian in me, and so I think that's cool. And I also thought his style of music was also really cool. I just really like that kind of southern rock type-ish music, I guess. And I was actually really surprised. I thought he would have picked Blake until Blake made that comment. Then he said that that was what he was trying to stray away from, so I kind of thought he would pick Miley after that, but he picked Alicia. So that is kind of the recap for that episode. I will edit the other part of the video in when I watch the next episode, which is probably going to happen now. It's kind of late, so I don't know if I'll finish the entire episode tonight, but I definitely will start it and probably finish it tomorrow and film my recap tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow, aka keep watching this video. Alright guys, so I just filmed this, and I realized when I went to edit it that my shirt was down a little bit too far, and I'm pretty sure YouTube would not have approved of it, so I'm going to refilm it and basically say the same thing that I did. But this is the part 2 of the Voice recap.
I am recapping part 4 of the auditions, which premiered Tuesday night of this week. And so yeah, I made a list again, and I'm going to save my final two, like my two main standouts for the end of this video, so you guys will have to wait. But I'm also going to include some thoughts on the other people. I had two really strong, for me, standouts, and then a couple other that were still standouts but not quite as strong as the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about the standouts that I did have. The first one that I have on my list was Simone Gundy, I think is her name, how you say it. She was a single mom. She sang I Who Have Nothing, and she did really good. I have their performances right here up now. I also just want to add before I get into this video that I still cannot hear out of this ear, so if there's background noise, I apologize, but I can't really hear very well. I can only hear out of one ear, and when I put this headphone in, I can't even hear out of this one, so if there's background noise, I apologize, but I just want to kind of watch these videos and refresh my memory from last night. But I'm watching Simone's performance right now, and I think she did really good. She kind of reminds me of Christina, if I'm being honest. She kind of does little runs and stuff like Christina does, I feel like. When she says the line, I want you so, I can't do it like she does it, but when she says the line, I want you so, she kind of like runs off of it, kind of like Christina does, and so I think she kind of sounds a little bit like Christina there. But I really like her. I think she'll do good in the competition. I like her story. I have a thing for single moms because I was raised by a single mom, so those kind of stories kind of, you know, touch me a little bit, so I hope that she does good in the competition. The next one I have is Gabriel Violet, who sang Treat You Better, and his job at home, first of all, is a onesie tester. He gets to try on onesies and like make sure they fit correctly and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, first of all, that's the coolest job in the entire world. Like, who wouldn't want to try on onesies for fun? Probably the coolest job ever. And he has such like a stance about him. Like, I'm watching him even now, not even listening to him, he's just got like a cool like stance about him, and he's got a couple little pitch problems, but he's got like such a pure voice, like it's just so natural, I guess is the word I'm looking for. He's just, I really like him, and he has a cool job. He's on Team Alicia. And then the next one I have is Kalia Kimberly, I believe is her name, and she's a country artist. And first of all, there's not many country artists that are on this show this year. She was the one who was raised on the Apache Indian reservoir. She sang Dibs, and she's got like a cool, she looks really cool. She doesn't look very country, I don't think, but she knocked country out of the park. But one thing I would like to see from her, and I think with her being on Team Miley especially, which was a shocker for me, I think I want to see more of like diversity. She kind of sang the song as is and didn't really make it her own a whole lot, so I'd like to see that from her, but she really killed it and really did good, and I'm happy to see country artists on here because there's not many on here at all, so that'll be exciting to watch. The next one I have is Hallie Tomlinson, and she's sang New York State of Mind, and Hallie was on Barney and also works at a school of rock, and her voice, first of all, just starting off, is very like flawless. It's very like effortless. It kind of looks like she's just opening her mouth and the words, like the melodies are just falling out. And she's only 18, so that's kind of crazy. She kind of knows when to be powerful and when to be more vulnerable, I guess. She knows where to accent her notes. She did really good. I really liked her. And then my two main standouts. First of all, we're going to leave the very last one for last, but Austin Allsap is the first one who was my number 2 standout. to stand out. I just flipped you guys off, I'm sorry. But first of all, he looks so cool. Like, he looks like somebody I would want to be friends with. He's got like this leather guitar strap, and he's got the long hair and the little goatee and the guitar, and he just looks so freaking cool. He just looks like a musician. And his dad was Tommy Allsap, who I have never heard of, but who had toured with George Strait and like all these awesome people. George Jones, I mean, not George Strait. Maybe George Strait, I don't know. And he's just got this cool, like, country rock, like southern rock type voice. And I remember them saying that, he sang with Blake when he was little, saying "This is Austin." And it's just so cool. And I just really like this dude, and I hope he goes far, because I really, really like him. He's just got, like, such a cool way about him, and he kind of did like a Rolling Stones, like a cool take on a Rolling Stones song, so I thought that was really cool and unique. And he's just so good. Like, I was literally like dancing around with him. My number one standout, who also has a very similar style of music, and again, I don't know if it's just that style of music that I'm particularly attracted to, or if it's this dude, but I really think it's this dude, because this is the dude that was here last season that I was so pissed that he didn't make it on. Nolan Neal, he was here last season, and I remember him talking about his dad, how his dad had committed suicide, and then he fell into kind of the hands of drugs and alcohol, and then he went into recovery, and now he's recovering from it. And then through his recovery, he kind of found music, and last season they told him that he sang the wrong song. I thought last season was still good, but apparently the judges didn't, and they're the pros here, so their opinion. I thought he was amazing last season and thought he deserved to be on the show, but this year he got 4 chairs to turn, which is not a common thing on this season. It seems like there's only been 1 or 2 artists that I can think of that have had 4 chairs turned for them. I just feel like the coaches are being more particular this year with who they're picking, and there's not that many people that have gotten 4 chairs to turn, and he did, and I really, really think he's going to make it to the finals at least. Maybe even win it, possibly. Again, it's way too early for any of those predictions, but I really hope that he does make it far in this competition, because he deserves it. He did Tiny Dancer, and it was so good. I know I filmed my reaction to this, but I'm listening to it right now as well, so you'll see another recap of it. And again, he's just got like that cool, like, he's got the guitar, and he just looks like somebody. He just looks like he deserves to be on that stage. Yes! Look, I have chills, guys. I don't know if you guys can see, but I literally have chills for this, guys. He's so good. And now he's getting into the chorus. Close to the tiny dancer. Yes! And he's like up there jamming. He's like completely like jamming out, and he just looks like he belongs on that stage. Like, he's just so good. So, like, everything about him is so good, and I really want him to go far in this competition. That is the recap. I really freaking love Nolan and Austin were my 2 favorites from this season, or this episode at least. At the end of auditions, I will make you guys a list of who were my standouts for the auditions. I think this coming week, are the last auditions, so after that I will give you guys kind of a list of who I thought were standouts, who I think are really good very early in the season, so they can all use a little bit of improvement, but some of them are so good already, and I'm just so excited about this season. Also, I just want to add to the end of this, I just love how this season there are 2 girls on there, and they like stick together. They got this like girl power thing, and I really freaking love it. You see when Miley and Alicia fight for artists, they're not like bashing each other like Adam and Blake bash each other or make jokes about each other, but the 2 girls on the show, Miley and Alicia, they just really support each other, and they're like, well, if you want to pick Alicia, that's fine. If you want to pick Miley, that's fine. And although it's fun to have Adam and Blake bicker back and forth, because it kind of gives it like a comedic relief to the show, but it's also cool to see like girl power for once on the show and see people like supporting each other, even though we know Blake and Adam support each other's teams to an extent, but they're still guys and they're just like a little bit competitive towards each other, you know. So it's just really cool to me to see girl power on the show, and I really thought I wasn't going to like Miley and Alicia being on the show, and I really am liking it. I think that they both bring just different personalities and different styles to the show, so I'm excited to see what they do and the battles and the lives and all that. So that is it for this video. I need to go edit because I messed up my other video, and I'll see you guys all later. Guys, I remember this kid last year, Nolan. I remember him from last season, and I want to record my reaction for this because I have a feeling it's going to be awesome. Alright guys, he's starting. Oh my god, yes! I freaking love this song, first of all. Blake recognized him. This is awesome. He's on the show. It makes me so happy. I remember his story last season, and I loved him. I was pissed that he didn't make it last season, by the way. This dude is going to go far in this competition. I'm just saying it right now from the audition. He's going to go far. There's Miley's button. Me close, tiny dancer. I can't sing as well as he can, but there's Alicia. God, this is so good. It's so good, guys. I'm calling it right now. He's going to go far in this competition, if not win it. I'm calling it. Okay, I'm turning the camera off now so I can watch the rest. But I'm telling you, he's going to go far. He's going to do it.